Welcome back, or if you're brand new here, welcome for the first time to the American Game Dog Podcast. I'm CY, your go-to source for everything American Pit Bull Terrier, the events, the culture, the dogs, and the people who love them. We talk facts, we talk real-world experience, and we don't sugarcoat a damn thing. Whether you're a seasoned handler who's been around these events for decades, or you just registered your first dog and you're trying to figure out what in the world a pump handle tail means, you are in the right place. This show is for you. Today, we are packing a lot in, and I'm genuinely excited about this one. We're going to walk you through three of the biggest event types in the APBT world: confirmation shows, weight pool, and wall climb, which ADBA calls the top dog athletic event. We'll cover the rules for both ADBA and APDR, break down judging criteria, talk about what it actually takes to get your dog ready to compete, and hit on injury prevention and conditioning, because none of it matters if your dog isn't healthy. By the time we're done, you have a solid foundation, whether you're prepping for your first show or you've been doing this for years, you just want a rules refresher. So let's get into it. What is a confirmation show? Confirmation. Let's start at the beginning, because I know there are people listening right now who've heard this word thrown around and aren't totally sure what it means in practice. A confirmation show is essentially a structured evaluation of how closely a dog matches the breeding standard. And I don't mean a beauty contest in some superficial sense. We're talking about structure, function. Does this dog look like it can actually do the work the American Pit Bull Terrier was historically bred to do? Is it athletic? Is it balanced? Does it move the way it should? That's what's being evaluated. The reason confirmation shows matter goes beyond ribbons and titles. They are one of the primary tools breed preservation organizations use to maintain type, to make sure the APBT doesn't drift into something unrecognizable over generations. When you put your dog in the show ring, you're participating in a living record of what this breed is supposed to be. That's worth taking seriously. ADBA versus APDR: history, mission, and key differences. Now, when we talk about APBT confirmation events in the United States, there are two main registries you need to know: the ADBA, the American Dog Breeders Association, and the APDR, the American Preservation Dog Registry. The ADBA has been around since 1909, making it one of the oldest APBT specific registries in the country. They developed the Heritage APBT Confirmation Standard, a detailed points-based judging system that evaluates the whole dog in a very specific and methodical way. The ADBA is very particular about registration. Your dog must be ADBA registered, and it must be in the current owner's name to enter any ADBA sanctioned event. There are no exceptions to that. The APDR, American Preservation Dog Registry, takes a similar mission of breed preservation, but has some structural differences in how they handle registration, championships, and show classes. One thing I actually appreciate about the APDR is their flexibility on registration day of. You can register your dog right at the show. That lowers the barrier to entry for newer folks who maybe didn't plan ahead. Both registries care deeply about preserving the authentic American Pit Bull Terrier. They just go about it a little differently, which is what we're going to break down now. Okay, how the dogs are judged. Let's talk judging, because this is where a lot of people get confused or get surprised when they walk in their first show. The ADBA, the ADBA uses a 100-point scale broken into 5 categories. Here's the breakdown. Okay, you get 20 points for the overall appearance. So that's the first impression. Does the dog look like a proper American Pit Bull Terrier? Coat, presentation, condition. You get 10 points for the attitude, the confidence, alertness, engagement, the dog's presence in the ring. 30 points for the back end, rear structure, the single heaviest weighted category. This means a lot, which I wasn't really aware of myself. but the back end has to be like that. You know what I mean? For you to get them 30 points. The front end, that's 20 points. Shoulder angulation, chest, front legs, feet, and the head is another 20 points. Size proportional to body, jaw, muzzle, and eye placement. Notice that the back end is the single most heavily weighted category, 30 points. That tells you a lot about what judges are looking for in an American Pit Bull Terrier. This breed is a rear drive athlete. Power comes from the hindquarters. If your dog's rear end isn't right, it doesn't matter how pretty the head is. The standard also emphasizes balance. You want equal angulation, front and rear. And here's one thing people don't always know. At a given weight, the taller dog will score higher. The idea is that a taller dog at the same weight is leaner and more athletic. Head size also needs to be proportional to the body. Not too big, not too small. As for condition, adult dogs should be lean and exercise. The standard calls for a hint of rib and backbone visible, but hip bones should not be protruding. So all y'all folks that come out there with them dogs looking like they about dead and super dry, you're doing it all wrong. The coat should be clean and glossy. Nails trimmed. This isn't a fat dog class, and it isn't an emaciated dog class. It's an athlete class. Okay, so we're talking about the APDR standard overview now. Now, the APDR has its own breed standard, and there's a lot of overlap with the ADBA. You're still looking at the same dog, but a few details stand out. The APDR describes the head as wedge-shaped, short, and deep. They prefer a dark eye, though red and red-nosed dogs can have a lighter eye without being penalized for it. They prefer rose ears. Full drop or back ears are undesirable. Scissor bite, neck with a slight arch, short back with a slight roach, strong medium-sized feet not splayed, and that tail, the APDR describes it as a pump handle, not carried over the back. Preferred weight under the APDR is males not over 70 pounds, females not over 60. Movement should be powerful and fluid. The last point movement is something both registries agree on completely. Show day rules and championships. We're about to go over that. Let's talk about show day logistics because the rules matter and ignorance of them on show day, that ain't a good look. ADBA, your dog must be at least 4 months old for confirmation. Not spayed or neutered. Dogs in confirmation, that is a disqualification. No bitches in heat. No visibly pregnant dogs. Your dog must weigh between 30 and 75 pounds at show weight. On leash, all leads are a maximum of 4 feet. Belt buckle collar only. No flex leads, no choke chains, no quick release snaps, none of that. Okay, now the APDR. Minimum age, 4 months for confirmation. Same no bitch in heat rule. Points are awarded for first, second, and third place finishes and accumulate toward the APDR Confirmation Championship. You need 100 points to earn that title. Best of Show and Best of Opposite Sex awards are given at each event. They also have a champions class that requires at least one Best of Show or a Best of Opposite win in your career, plus a minimum of 5 pre-registered dogs to open that class. APDR also has junior handlers class for kids ages 4 through 14, which I love to see personally. The next generation of American Pit Bull Terrier enthusiasts getting in the ring. Dogs over 12 months in that class must be double leashed with an adult assistant. Safety first always. Okay, we about to go over the disqualifications to know. Under ADBA, the disqualifications you need to know about: man aggression is an automatic DQ. A dog with undescended testicles, DQ. Spayed or neutered status in the confirmation ring, DQ.
And the Merle color pattern is a disqualification under the ADBA because Merle is linked to documented health problems in dogs, including deafness and eye defects. This isn't just an aesthetic call, it's a health call. Unsportsmanlike conduct and facing off dogs, meaning deliberately allowing dogs to get in each other's faces, those are also prohibited at all events. At all events, keep your dog under control. So, I'm just giving y'all the general rundown. You know what I mean? We about to get into the weight pool and why it matters. The weight pool, which is kind of one of my favorites to talk about because it strips everything down to the essentials. There's no handler charisma, no ring presence, no coat sheen. It's your dog, a harness, a heavy loaded cart or sled, and 16 feet of track. Can your dog pull it? That's it. Weight pool test, true working ability, raw strength, drive, the willingness to dig in and grind when it gets hard. The American Pit Bull Terrier has been doing work like this for over a century. And weight pool is one of the most direct expressions of what this breed is actually built for. It's also one of the most honest tests there is because you can't fake it. Either the cart moves or it doesn't. All right, so I'm gonna tell you how the pools work. Uh, the dog is harnessed up, positioned at the start line, and the handler commands the dog to pull the loaded cart or sled across a 16-foot track. No bait is allowed under ADBA weight pool rules. You're not calling your dog to you with food or a toy. The motivation has to come from the dog's natural drive and conditioning. Here's an important rule about passes. A handler may pass on 2 turns, but on the 3rd turn, they must pull. You can't just keep skipping rounds indefinitely. That rule keeps the competition moving and tests whether a dog can actually perform, not just whether a handler has the patience. Between pulls, there's a mandatory minimum 5-minute rest period. This is not optional. This is the welfare requirement, and it's there for a reason. A dog that has been working hard needs time to recover before it goes again. Abusive or inhumane treatment is strictly prohibited. Okay, we're going to talk about ties as well. Ties are broken by fastest time. If 2 dogs pull the same maximum weight, whoever did it faster wins. Clean and simple. All right. That was the ADBA weight pool. So with the APDR weight pool, it's some similarities, differences, and no bait rule. The basic structure is very similar. Dogs pull lightest class to heaviest class, working up through the weight ladder. Ties are broken by fastest time, same as ADBA. The minimum age for weight pool under APDR is 9 months, same as ADBA. And spayed, neutered dogs are allowed to compete in weight pool, which is consistent with the ADBA approach of not limiting athletic events to intact dogs. Now, the no bait rule, this is a big deal in APDR history. Effective January 1st, 2017, APDR eliminated bait from weight pool. Prior to that, handlers were allowed one form of judge-approved, non-food, non-live bait. That's gone now. Just like ADBA, APDR weight pool is now a pure test of the dog's drive and conditioning without bait assistance. Real talk, I think that change was the right call. This breed has the drive. It doesn't need to be lured. When a dog digs in and pulls that cart on its own based on nothing but the heart and training, that's the American Pit Bull Terrier. That's what we're celebrating. Equipment and handler conduct. Quick rundown on equipment for weight pool. Your dog must wear a padded weight pool harness, not a regular walking harness, not a collar, and certainly not a choke chain. A dedicated weight pool harness is designed to distribute the load across the chest and shoulders properly. Using the wrong equipment can injure your dog. At ADBA events, same leash rules as conformation. 4 foot, at APDR events, same leash rules as conformation. 4 foot maximum belt buckle collar, no quick release snaps, no flex leads. Handler conduct is monitored. Inhumane treatment will get you removed as it should. The wall climb. We're gonna for all the greenhorns, we're gonna give you the basics on the wall climb. Okay, y'all, this is the one that blows people's minds when they see it for the first time. ADBA calls it the Top Dog Athletic Event, and honestly, that name earns itself every single time one of these dogs launches up that board. Picture a tall, steep board, nearly vertical, and a dog in full drive sprinting up it to retrieve a bite pillow from a predetermined height. It is raw athleticism at its most spectacular, and it's not just a spectacle. It tests the rear drive power, the confidence, the body awareness, and the bond between the dog and the handler. If you never seen this event live, go find a video. It'll make sense instantly. Okay, the wall specs and setup. The specs under the ADBA rules, the wall or board must be a minimum of 3 feet wide and 16 feet tall. The recommended size is 4 feet wide by 16 feet tall. The bottom 13 feet of the surface must be covered with rubber, foam, or carpet. That's your traction surface. The dog needs something to grip. A safety harness is required on every competing dog attached to a anti-fall line. This is non-negotiable, and it's a great example of how the sport has formalized safety for the animals. No dog is free climbing an unsecured 16-foot wall. The harness and fall line are there every single run. The climb is scored. How the climb is scored. The handler plus one assistant is allowed in front of the board. The competitor brings their own bite pillow, which must have 8 to 12 inches of biting surface with a Velcro attachment. The dog's job is to retrieve that bite pillow from the handler's predetermined height. When the dog successfully grabs the pillow at or above the set height, that counts as a successful climb. Each height allows 3 fouls. On the 4th foul at a given height, the dog is eliminated at that height. Starting height is determined by the handler, so you pick where you're comfortable starting at and you work your way up from there. Ties are broken by a do or die head-to-head round. If it's still tied after that, the award goes to the heavier dog, because a heavier dog is at a physical disadvantage on the wall, and the rules acknowledge that. Now, a notable update that went into effect in April of 2024, and this one's important if you're competing. Handlers may use a treat maximum 1 square inch as an out cue on the wall climb during top dog events. And I want to be clear on what this means because it's specific. This is not bait to call your dog up the wall. The treat is used only as an out cue, meaning to release the dog from the bite at the top. You must notify the judge of your intent when you arrive, and you must show the treat for approval. The treat is given only at a designated location off the run mat. If you use it to bait the dog up the wall instead of as an out cue, that's a violation. Know the difference. Let's talk equipment for the wall, because all of this is competitor provided. You bring your own bite pillow, 8 to 12 inch biting surface with Velcro. You bring your own safety harness, and this is important. You are required to bring a brake stick every single time. That is not optional, and it's not negotiable. The brake stick exists as a safety tool, and responsible handlers carry one. If you don't know what a brake stick is or how to use one, get educated before you step near that wall. Why conditioning is non-negotiable? I could do a whole separate episode on this, and honestly, I probably will. But let's hit the essentials today, because here's the thing. All of the events we just talked about, all of the rules and scoring and equipment, none of it matters if your dog isn't physically prepared. A dog that isn't conditioned or for competition is a dog that's at risk for injury, and that's on the handler, period. Whether you're showing a conformation, pulling a cart, or running up that wall, your dog needs to be fit, healthy, and progressively trained. This is not a sport for weekend warriors who dust off the harness the night before a show. Vet clearance and age considerations. Before your dog starts at any conditioning program for sport, get a baseline vet exam and at least 1 month before your competition season begins, get a preseason checkup. Your vet needs to know what you're asking your dog to do. Age matters enormously here. Both ADBA and APDR require a minimum age of 9 months for weight pool and top dog events. And there's a physiological reason for that. Growth plates in dogs typically don't fully close until 12 to 18 months of age. Heavy loading before these plates close can cause permanent joint damage. 9 months is the floor, not the target. Train smart. Warm up, cool down, and a weekly schedule. Every single dog training session should start with 5 to 10-minute brisk leash walk, not a stroll, a purposeful warm-up walk. You're increasing blood flow to soft tissues and improving flexibility before you ask the dog to work hard. And when the session is done, you need to slow it back down. A cool down walk to help dissipate metabolic waste, reduce muscle soreness, and prevent blood pooling in the limbs. This stuff matters. Now, when it comes to your schedule, it could be something. I'm gonna give you a little sample, something that you could do. So on Monday, we would do active rest, mobility drills, balance disc, body awareness work. Tuesday, sled/drag work, short pulls, 3 to 5 sets, building rear drive. Wednesday, hill sprints, 3 to 5 reps, cardiovascular conditioning plus rear strength. Thursday would be swimming or tug work. This is low impact full body cardiovascular work. Friday would be flirt pole, about 5 to 10 minutes. That helps with the agility and prey drive. Saturday would be a full conditioning session plus wall practice. Sunday, complete rest. And that would be mandatory. You know what I mean? You don't want to overwork your dog. And remember, no feeding within 2 hours before any training or competition. An empty stomach is a safe stomach when you're asking your dog to work hard. When it comes to injury prevention and equipment safety, after every single training session, do what I call a tailgate check, a nose to tail inspection. Check the paws for cuts, cracks, or worn pads. Check the joints, check the eyes and ears. Look for any sign of limping, swelling, excessive pain, anything. Those are your warning signals. If you see any of those, you must stop. Don't push through. Contact your vet. The dog does not know how to tell you it's hurting until it's really hurting. You have to be one with your dog and paying attention. Equipment safety, you must use a padded weight pull harness, not a walking harness or collar for any pulling work. At events, 4-foot belt buckle leads, no choke chains, no quick release snaps, no flex leads. Safety harnesses for wall climbing. You need your bike pillow with the Velcro, and it needs to be 8 to 12 inches. You need your brake stick. That's always have your brake stick. In hot weather, a cooling vest can be a genuine welfare tool. Power bomb or boots for surface protection are also smart, especially on rough or hot surfaces. All right, y'all, that's a wrap on today's episode, and I hope you're leaving here with a lot more clarity on what these events actually look like, how they're judged, and what it takes to get your dog ready to compete. Here's what I want you to remember. Conformation is about breed preservation, showcasing what the APBT is supposed to be, structurally and physically. Weight pool is about working ability, heart, drive, and strength under load. And the wall climb is pure athleticism, rear power, confidence, and handler communication at its finest. All three events demand a well-conditioned dog, a knowledgeable handler, and a commitment to doing things right. If you take that seriously, you're going to love this community, and this community will love you back. If this episode was helpful, and I hope it was, do me a favor and subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast. Leave a review if you can, and share it with someone in the American Pit Bull Terrier community who needs to hear it. That's genuinely how this show goes and how it grows. Big shout out to the ADBA and the APDR for maintaining sanctioned events and keeping the breed standard alive. Check the show notes for links to both registries, upcoming event listings, and all of the resources we referenced today. I'm CY. Stay consistent, stay educated, and take care of your dogs. See you next time.